You grow used to your own voice when the room never interrupts. You begin to mistake silence for agreement, and agreement for truth. That is the first caution: be careful with confidence that has never been tested. Mara was a cartographer of opinions, sharp and fast, convinced that certainty made her strong. In every meeting she leaned forward before anyone else could speak, laying down conclusions like stones across a river. Her co-workers stopped trying to cross. They nodded, smiled, and let her walk ahead alone. She called it respect. It was, more often, exhaustion. Then the company lost its largest client. The blame moved through the office like cold air. Mara prepared her defense, polished and perfect, sure she could explain every decision. But the boardroom was crowded with a new kind of silence, one that watched back. A junior analyst, quiet almost to the point of invisibility, placed a folder on the table and said, "I think we need to look at the numbers you ignored." Mara felt the first sting of being challenged. It was not humiliation at first. It was disorientation. The report was accurate. The ignored numbers were hers. The mistake was not ignorance, but the habit of hearing only what supported her own certainty. Advice: if you want the truth, do not collect applause. Collect questions. She could have fought. She could have defended herself with charm, speed, and volume, the old tools that had always won in rooms too polite to resist. Instead, she did the harder thing. She sat down. She asked the analyst to explain again. Then she asked another person to disagree. Then another. The room changed. Not suddenly, but honestly. People who had once stayed quiet began to speak with care. One admitted she had seen the risk 2 weeks earlier. Another confessed he had not wanted to be the only dissenting voice. The pattern was ugly and familiar: a leader who never welcomed challenge eventually leads a team that fears it. Caution: when nobody questions you, it may not mean you are right. It may mean you have trained others to disappear. Mara rebuilt the process from that day forward. She appointed a devil's advocate for every major decision. She asked for the weakest argument against her own ideas before presenting them. At first it felt like walking with a stone in her shoe. Then it felt like balance. Months later, when a smaller client came with a dangerous demand, she did not answer immediately. She listened. She invited objections. She let the room be difficult. The answer they found together was not the fastest, nor the prettiest, but it was better. And better is often what survives. In the end, the greatest correction was simple. She had not become wiser because she was challenged once. She became wiser because she finally learned that being questioned is not an attack on your worth. It is the price of truly being right.